Hello and welcome. Today we are diving deep into a truly shocking crime that began with a terrible discovery in Delhi's Amar colony. We're going to see how one single, grainy image from a security camera managed to unravel not just one brutal murder, but a violent crime spree that stretched clear across state lines.
So let's get right into it. The story kicks off in a quiet Delhi neighborhood with an absolutely grim discovery. A 22-year-old woman, the daughter of a senior tax official, was found murdered right inside her family's apartment. As you can imagine, this immediately sparked a massive police investigation.
And this really brings us to the central mystery of this entire case. How in the world did a few seconds of CCTV footage, just one guy walking down the street, become the single key that unlocked two horrific crimes in two different states? It's pretty incredible.
To really understand how the police cracked this, we have to go back to the beginning. We need to look at the crime scene itself and the very first clues investigators had to work with. So this all went down on a Wednesday morning. The victim's parents had just headed out to the gym, which meant she was home alone. This right here created a very narrow window of opportunity, a moment of vulnerability that it seems the killer was very clearly waiting for. Wow, this slide really paints a picture, doesn't it? The police didn't walk into a simple break-in. No, the room was completely ransacked and there were obvious signs of a violent struggle. And the cause of death was just brutal. She was hit with something heavy and then strangled with a mobile charging cable. This told police right away that this probably wasn't just a simple robbery. The attack was violent, it was personal. Okay, so you have this incredibly chaotic crime scene. How do the police even begin to move forward from that? Well, as it turns out, it all came down to one crucial piece of modern technology. And here it is. This was a moment that changed everything. As police combed through hours and hours of local CCTV footage, they found it. A clear image of a man in a bright yellow t-shirt carrying a bag, just walking away from the building. Instantly, this became the single most important lead they had. And this is where it gets really chilling. Police kept digging through the footage and found the same man just loitering near the building hours earlier, around 6 a.m. He wasn't there by chance. He was watching, he was learning the family's routine and just waiting for his moment. So, they've got a face. They have a clear image of their suspect. The next challenge for the police was pretty straightforward. Who was this guy? And what, if any, was his connection to the family? You know, it actually didn't take them long to get a match. The man in the yellow t-shirt was identified as Rahul Meena from Alwar, which is in the neighboring state of Rajasthan. But it was his connection to the family that was truly disturbing. It turns out Rahul Meena was no stranger at all. He had actually worked for the family as a household employee for about 8 months. And, this is the crucial part, he had been fired just a month and a half before the murder. So this meant he had inside knowledge. He knew the apartment's layout. He knew the family's daily schedule. He knew everything. And as they dug deeper, a potential motive started to take shape. Police sources revealed that the suspect was allegedly addicted to online gaming and had racked up some serious debt. You paired that with the ransacked apartment, and the theory was pretty clear. This was a robbery that had gone horribly, horribly wrong. But just as investigators felt they were getting a handle on the motive, a call came in from the police in Rajasthan. And that's when this case took a wild turn. It turns out Rahul Meena's alleged crime spree hadn't started in Delhi at all. It had started hours earlier, hundreds of kilometers away. I mean, just look at this timeline. It is absolutely staggering. Police discovered that just hours before the murder in Delhi, Rahul had allegedly committed a rape in his own neighborhood back in Alwar. Then he traveled all the way to Delhi, staked out his former employer's home, committed murder and robbery, and finally fled to a hotel in Dwarka to lay low. This was an unbelievable spree of extreme violence spanning 2 states, all in a single day. So, with the suspect identified and the shocking scale of his crimes now crystal clear, this was no longer just a murder investigation. A massive, multi-team manhunt was launched to find him before he could escape or hurt anyone else. And the chase ended right back in Delhi. By tracking his electronic footprint, that digital trail we all leave with our phones and online activity, and using other surveillance, police tracked him to a hotel in the Dwarka area. They moved in fast and arrested him, bringing this violent manhunt to a close. So, in the end, Rahul Meena is facing a mountain of charges. He's been booked for murder and robbery here in Delhi, and on top of that, he faces a separate charge of rape for the horrific crime he allegedly committed back in Alwar. And that is pretty much where the case stands right now. The suspect is in custody, but you can bet this investigation is far from over. What truly drove this terrifying escalation of violence? As the police continue their interrogation, the full, disturbing story is probably only just beginning to come out. Thanks for watching.